We're live. Now it's live. And the audio should be working. 0 viewers.
Are you going to be able to test it if the audio is working?
We'll see.
Now we have 2 viewers.
Hey, peeps. How's it going, guys? Let us know if you can hear us, who you are. We can't see who's on. So say hello to us. We're using a streaming software so we can see your comments, your likes, your thumbs up. Whoever it is, say hi to us. We're glad you're here. Hey, see you all the time, Wildhawk57. I've been wondering. Oh, Andy, that's my brother. Perfect. Audio's good.
Oh, good.
I was hoping to have even better audio. All right, Rob. I've been wondering what your name is, Rob. I see you commenting on all the videos. See you steady watching. We love it, but glad to put a name to the username. And of course, hello, Andy. Yes, Izzy.
Hi, Izzy.
I'm sure
She's
Isabella's.
still awake.
Yeah. Andy, this is got to be getting close. Well, probably just had dinner and took a bath, and kids are going to bed, I'm guessing. So, thanks guys for hopping on here. Saw somebody, we got a third on here, but we'll kind of let some people get on here and see what's up, see how things are going. But we are just really here to talk to you. We got some questions, we're going to go through some questions. We had a few questions we got on Instagram, a few questions hopefully we'll get here from you guys as we're going, but we have no idea who's going to pop on, so we're hoping there will be a few. So yeah, we've
Thank you, Rob. We've gotten a lot done.
Yeah,
The most exciting stuff.
big things have been happening around here, and you can see us pretending like we're moving in. We got some mason jars on the shelf back here, mason jars that won't actually get used as their intended purpose for a long time. But they're there because we're hopeful. But yeah, we got 7 people on now. Guys, as you're coming on, say hi in the comments so we know who's here. We want to know who all is on here with us and interact with you guys. Of course, we've got some questions, but we want to know what you're thinking in this moment as you're thinking about us watching here. So we can also look at, I can pull up, boom, old picture of the bus.
Wow.
Look at that. Who
Wow, we've come
remembers?
so far.
Who remembers the OG bus days right there? That is the purchase day right there. Awesome. Life of Jenny, Jacob, hello. Loki, hello. Thank you guys for saying hello and being here. We're glad you're here. Hopefully everybody gets a little something out of this live stream, and whether you guys learn a little bit more about us or whatever. But I guess we can talk about right now. For now, we'll talk about where we've kind of been lately. We haven't been super active on either Instagram or YouTube. Well, our last upload was now 2 Thursdays ago. Yeah. So when I was out in Colorado, so that was kind of one of the reasons we didn't upload that. Well, I did upload that week. It was late on a Friday, but I took a boys trip out to Colorado with my brother and my brothers. I have 2 older brothers and a younger brother, and now a brother-in-law. And we all went out with my dad out west of Snowmass and did some skiing. So we missed a little opportunity for bus work there. That was a whole weekend of bus work missed. And then actually last weekend, we went and saw Reagan's family in Indiana. So that was another missed weekend of bus work. And I tried to get here during the week, but got to make money too during the week. So week is not always an open opportunity for bus work, but it's all right. Cherie, remember to put thumbs up. We love it. We love it. Of course, remember to give a like, guys. We love any support we can get from you, and are glad you're here. So, but yeah, so we've kind of been a little bit of travel here, a little bit of travel there, and missed some bus work. And
It's not easy for me to do things on my own, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I need a lot of direction. So if he's gone, it's hopeless.
Yeah. Megan knows how to use the miter saw and the drill and things now, but she still needs a foreman to give her the task, and then she can go do the task. So, but good news is this weekend's a full weekend of bus work. So we're super pumped about that, and hopefully plugging up some more of the holes in here. We still got a front window that's completely empty, and maybe we'll kind of give you guys a tour around here at some point. But Kevin, he's got an International 3400 like ours at an auction in December.
Cool.
Oh, awesome. He used the oil change video. Sweet, Kevin. Glad we could help. I know, there's other internationals out there. International's pretty popular. It's just the 7.3 T44E is pretty popular in a lot of schoolies. But specifically these kind of International 3400 shuttles aren't super popular. So cool to see other people out there and hear other people out there getting the same. Mitch and Amanda and Elias coming from Indiana, some of Reagan's family. Wish we could see you guys.
Love you guys.
Yeah, wish we could have seen you when we were there last weekend.
Never enough time.
Never enough time. But I guess we could maybe start plugging away. Did I kind of give enough of an update of where we've been at?
I think so.
I guess we could talk about what's kind of in the works and the next sort of projects we got coming up. So, next steps are really, we've got plumbing coming up pretty soon. So plumbing's coming your way. We're missing a few pieces for that, but our main, I guess, hold up for the plumbing is trying to get our sideboards. So we're having, this is kind of something we've talked about back when we were painting the bus, but we're putting boards on the side of the bus kind of as decorative boards. You'll see some people do this, but kind of makes it a woody wagon, I guess you could say. So we need to put those on, and in order to put those on, we need to bolt them in, and in order to do our plumbing, we need to be able to put paneling on the walls, which would block where we need to tighten those bolts. And so the sideboards need to go on before the paneling goes on, and before the plumbing can be done, the paneling needs to go on. So we've got kind of some things, although we have pretty much all of our plumbing stuff sitting here and we went and bought it all, we're waiting on a few steps before then, but maybe that's something we can hopefully get done this weekend. Just staining and sealing the boards for the sides has been a long process. It's a long process going through that. So, see, we got a few.
Windows.
Oh yeah.
Also need to turn this on for the pizza.
Yeah. So let's see. Loki said, "Did you get a chance to watch the new Mars rover land?" No, I didn't know that was happening, to be honest. But pretty cool. We're making more strides to Mars.
Those are good questions that I don't have the answers
to. So Kevin then asked, need to go in more detail about our window deletes. So thankfully I'm sitting right by one. Wonder if we can zoom out here. Oh, look at this. Look at this, guys. We're getting fancy. I can go like this. We can go like this, and we can talk about it right here, Kevin. So what we ended up doing is we knew our counters and our countertop height, standard countertop height is 36 inches. So that's what kind of led us to putting these at 36 inches. Now, thinking about it, on this side, this is where our dinette's going to be. So it's going to be a seat here, then a table, and then a seat in kind of where the camera is really. And the table's probably not going to come up this high, but we still wanted to do it this high to maintain just a level on the outside. And we just did a 2x2. You could have done a 2x3. You could have done a 2x4, whatever here. But that was just kind of our framing piece going between our two window framing pieces. And then we ended up doing a really thin piece of plywood on the back side. And our shuttle bus windows, which most shuttle bus windows are made pretty similarly, it seems to me. And we took that skinny piece of plywood and it sat perfectly in a channel. I don't even know. I doubt the camera's going to be able to pick it up, but there's a really tiny channel in here, and that's what this little piece of plywood's sitting in. So we made them to fit the window, slit those in, and then we put the 2x2 in, and you can see these are put in with pocket screws. And then we actually clamped these together and have screws going through here all the way into the plywood, which created a little spacer so it had a little bit more thickness. These are all glued together and everything. So this is super solid. Now I will say there is still a gap back here between our window delete and the back here. But we may create an insert there, or we'll just trim it off right here. Now, as I just talked about that, I realized, Kevin, you may have been talking about the window deletes, which is like the actual windows that we completely deleted.
What I was thinking, like this one.
Like that one over here. And so for those guys, we have a YouTube video about it, but basically what we did is we took the interior panels and the interior decorative ceiling panels, which were just fiberglass, and the whole bus of the body is fiberglass. And we took those and we just cut it perfectly to size and glued them onto the window frames. And because of the way shuttle bus windows are designed, the two windows on either side of it actually sat on top of it, and then that all suctions together with the frames on the inside. So it was really well secured, and then we kind of bondoed the edges, which we'll see how that bondo holds up. It's already showing maybe a little bit of stress just from securing things to it and things shifting around. But I think they'll hold up well over time, and maybe we'll have to do a little bit of repair, but that was something we were able to do that project without having to buy anything. Well,
yeah, it was nice.
Without having to buy anything to cover it with. Yeah. We still had to buy the adhesive and things like that. So
yeah, and then just a piece of foam board on the inside.
Yeah, and then it's just a piece of foam board. Certainly we could have just left it. I mean,
and then spray foam.
We ended up spray foaming it anyways, so we could have just spray foamed the whole thing, but at the time we wanted something structural to put behind there, so we put a piece of structural foam board. So that's that, Kevin. So thank you for asking that question. It's a great question.
The rounded corners.
Cherie said, how are you going to frame out the windows with the rounded corners? That is a really good question. And I think I know what you're talking about here. So I'll see if I can get everybody else to see. So these guys, these rounded corners. So the corners of the windows aren't exactly ideal because they're rounded, and you can see we even sprayed some spray foam up in there. So it's not the best, but we'll either create some sort of rounded piece here, because we're still going to put trim around all this. So this is going to get trimmed out. This is going to get a piece of trim on it. So either we'll have this top piece of trim come down far enough that it'll kind of cover it, or we'll integrate it kind of in. But that's one piece we're still figuring out. So good question.
Johnny's very creative and innovative and just kind of figures things out, even if it's made up. So we'll see where it goes.
You got to get creative, guys.
It's working so far.
That's what it comes down to, is like, you got to get creative, and sometimes you just got to stare at something long enough and something's going to come to you. And that's what may have to happen there.
Yeah.
But that we're realizing a lot of the very fine finishing bits are probably going to come a ways down the road, because our priority is getting moved into this thing, not necessarily having it in tip-top shape when we move in and completely done, because we'd love to just be living in it, eliminate rent, things like that. So our priority is getting in the bus, not finishing it. But when we do, I promise you, Cherie, there will be a video about it, and we'll be sure to have it. So what's up, Jumanji? We've seen you before. How you doing? Jumanji, I know you said something about my hair a long time ago, but I got it cut eventually. So it's still a little long.
Best look right now.
But it was out of control there for quite some time. So glad you noticed.
That was an experimental.
Glad you noticed. Yeah. COVID and quarantine and all that gave me a good excuse to not cut my hair for a long time. So that's how that came about. Let's see. Kevin also mentioned, he said his mile is going to be eventually mostly campground or off-grid. So mostly off-grid. Our plan is to really do as much off-grid as possible. And so, because for us, part of this is trying to be a little bit more affordable with the way we live and the way we do this. So campgrounds, I mean, depending on what kind of campground you're staying at, that can add up. So if we can have the ability to be out in the middle of nowhere, then that's what we want to do. But that comes with a high price ticket, which we're realizing.
With solar.
And we knew, but it's one of those things that everybody sees, these like really nice rigs and everybody going out and boondocking and whatever, and it sounds great until you realize how much solar and batteries and things you're going to need. And so we're realizing that maybe a generator may be in the mix temporarily to start, because as the build has been progressing, we're just buying things. Everything you do now has a price ticket to it. It's once you're past the destruction phase. So even lumber now is at a much more expensive price tag than what it was in the past. So even going out and buying lumber is expensive, but then we think about the big ticket items, and we want them certainly, and that is our future goal. Absolutely, is to be off-grid as much as possible. Probably campgrounds when we really need a refresh or want to take a shower without having to worry about our water supply or whatever it is. That's the idea. So Loki said, love the idea used for the windows. Thanks, Loki. Appreciate it. That was glad we did that for sure, and hopefully it'll pay off with insulation. So Rob said, have you thought of a recirculating shower? I've seen it. That is. So for those of you guys who don't know what that is, and Reagan, that is basically like it takes your shower water and recirculates it so you can continue to use your shower water over and over, because essentially it's pretty clean water, right? And there's a filter in that system that filters it out, but then you don't have to worry as much about your water supply, and you can theoretically take a hot shower as long as you want to. So
that sounds great.
Yeah, definitely would be awesome, and maybe still potentially something we'll add. I don't know. We still, bathrooms right here behind us, still have to do all that, obviously. So recirculating shower would be really cool, and I know Aimless Travels, if anybody follows them, I believe they're somebody who has it, and maybe even put out some stuff about it. But oh, Andy, good point. No peeing in the shower then. That would be hard to resist.
Well, our shower and our toilet are in the same space. So.
Yeah, but yeah, true. You could just
you can pee in the shower, just do it in the toilet.
Yeah, and that way you don't get recirculated pee water back on yourself. So, but yeah, recirculating shower would be awesome, and maybe still down the road. So.
Oh, good to know.
Let's see. Jumanji also, Andy said, is 6 enough?
What does that mean?
6. Oh, it's filtered 6 times and uses a UV sterilizer. Oh. Interesting. Okay. So Rob's saying that there's things that filter the crap out of it and uses UV sterilizer. So, Rob, I may have to ask you for some links there, But let's see. Cherie said, go see Snow and Kurt's van build, full recirculating filtering. All right. I'm definitely looking more into this because Hot
sounds ideal.
unlimited hot showers would be fantastic. And avoid us going to campgrounds probably even more, because I would say that's probably one of the bigger reasons that we would go. Because we just want to be out and about, guys. So, let's see. Jim said, been thinking lately it might be smart to use solar for base loads like fridge, lighting, etc., and kicking a generator for intermittent loads like a microwave. Definitely smart.
I think we've been thinking about a generator now, which wasn't originally in the plan.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about a generator for various, maybe we start with it, and then as we build our solar, we keep the generator for those times when we need higher loads, or it's just really cloudy, or we want to take the bus places where it's cold too. Cold and snowy, which cold and snowy usually means clouds, because you want snow, and snowstorms bring clouds. So we'll certainly be staying in places where the sun is not in our favor, and so I think a generator's in our future. How big of one? That's a good question. I've also been toying with the idea of, like Jim said, having a lot of our main loads in the bus, the lighting, the fridge, the fans, everything in the bus, and bringing that solar number down a little bit, and then getting something like a Jackery, which, if you guys don't know, is like kind of those portable solar banks with the portable solar panels, something that we can take with us more often or use for computers and phones, and is a little bit more portable, and something we can rely on if our solar were to ever have problems or whatever. The Jackery, I think, would be a cool option to have as a little side guy. So let's see. We got Jumanji said, without an RO on a recirculating shower, you won't get dissolved solids out like chemicals or pee. Yeah. Again, comes back to the pee. So
still no pee in the shower.
On the chemicals piece, we are planning to use mostly all natural products in most of our stuff, or we're going to try to while we're on the bus. So like our soap dispensers in the shower, we're not just going to have bottles. We're going to have like a shampoo, a conditioner, and a body wash that we have mounted to the wall. So that way when people come on the bus too, hopefully they're using those things. And our water and things don't have all these mix of chemicals and whatnot in them. So yeah, Kevin said problem with generators, you have to carry gas too, certainly. So if we got a generator, we would probably keep it in the garage. So we've got some space, and we'll see how quickly space fills up in there. We already made our closet, which last YouTube video, check it out if you haven't. We made a closet, and that took up some space back there. But there's hope. I think there's plenty of room for a generator, and we'll probably keep also extra diesel gas, for the bus, but also we have a diesel heater. So if our diesel heater were, to run out of its tank, we want to be able to hopefully have some diesel on hand at any time to help with that. So we still got to find places for some of these things, and that'll be as we keep filling everything in, but definitely something to consider with the generator. And there's a cost that comes with that too, right? The generator doesn't have as big of an upfront cost, but it has an ongoing cost of purchasing gas, whereas solar has that one-time mega cost, and then you get the sun. So we'll see.
Also, hi, Mary.
Yes. Hi, Mom. How you doing? So my mom asked where we're going to place the generator. I'm very concerned about that, I guess. But, and then, yeah, Kevin said plumb the heater into Miles' tank, so I had toyed with this idea, and, So I toyed with the idea of plumbing it into the tank, and maybe we still will because we have the diesel heater. It's literally sitting, outside right there. But we haven't put it anywhere yet because we're most likely putting it under the couch, which is the opposite side of the diesel tank. We're basically sitting on top of the diesel tank right now. I've heard some people are able to tap in by themselves. Some people have troubles with it or need to bring a professional in. And so I have to look into it a little bit more, how difficult it would be. But if we would tap into the tank, one thing I would make sure to do is make it so our tap only goes down to like a quarter tank. So then you can never run your self-drive diesel in your tank. Because if you just tap from the bottom, I mean, theoretically, if you're out somewhere and you're running your heater, you could theoretically run your tank dry diesel and then your bus is stuck. So if we do that, that's one thing we'll take into consideration is definitely not letting ourselves get in a bad place with running ourselves dry. So see, Robin also mentioned battery isolator will allow you to charge your house battery from your bus while you drive. Definitely something we're doing. So if those of you bus people out there, you can charge your house batteries if you have the right setup. That's definitely something we're going to do because the more ways we have to charge our batteries, the better. Having all solar and everything would be great, but if there's days where, like I said, maybe it's cloudier and we need to run the bus a little bit or go drive a little bit, then whatever. Jumanji said, I didn't show a reaction to the closet. I said it was a surprise, but what was your reaction to the closet?
Gosh, I don't remember now. I mean, you should have seen like what the plan was for the closet before, because it was like we were gonna be able to have like 5 hanging clothes each. And at first I was like, oh, that's gonna be fine. But now that we have so much space, it's like I don't know how we could have done it any other way.
Yeah.
But now we have a full closet. How wide is it?
So our closet is, it's 26 inches wide and 20 inches deep for a hanger. So we got 26 inches wide of hanging clothes, which is going to be like, now that'll be like 20 pieces of clothes each at least. So Reagan's happy.
So very excited.
You can see it. That's the closet framing back there. That's the closet framing back there in the garage. So peeking there through the bedroom. Cherie said, go see Robert Braden for location generator and back bumper enclosure. So I found Robert Braden a long time ago searching shuttle bus stuff. So I know who you're talking about. We won't put it on a back bumper because we're towing a car. So I don't want anything extending back towards the car. I'm already going to have enough anxiety about pinching the car.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. We're not going to extend it back anymore. Basically, we unfortunately won't have like a back deck and we won't have a roof deck. So a lot of these Skoolies with either back or roof decks, we will have neither, but we're okay with it.
That's right.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll start at 20 pieces each, but it'll slowly increase in my favor.
Yeah, definitely Reagan, I think, will dominate the hanging clothes. But I'm okay with that. A lot of mine will be just crammed in somewhere. So let's see.
To Andy's question.
Andy said, what part of the build that is left are you most anxious about? Electric, plumbing, finishing, etc.
Electric.
Yeah. Even Reagan can answer that.
I mean, it's stressful just looking at it right now, you guys.
Yeah. Well, you see we've gotten some of it done, right? So, like, over there.
Stuff like that, yeah.
So we ran all of our 12 volt. So all of our, we've ran most of it, and then all of our lights are all interconnected in the ceiling. And we were only able to do that thanks to our friend Chris at Skoolies Living. I would have been probably working on it for days by myself just to get our ceiling lights wired. And we still have to run 110, and then we still have to buy all the components, build our whole electrical panel, put it all together, get the solar, get that interconnected, get the batteries. Yeah, so
Overwhelming.
I've been looking at a lot of solar stuff lately, and I told Reagan, I said, I'm just gonna have Chris come do it all.
Yeah.
We're gonna pay Chris
Yeah.
or do whatever we need to, because I'm just so overwhelmed by myself. And also, I think that's one of the parts of your build that's really dangerous if you really don't know what you're doing. I think I see people DIYing it. It's awesome, and I would love to DIY it myself, but I also don't want my bus to burn down. So we're gonna probably bring in some help there of somebody who knows what they're doing and who has a bus that is not burning down because of electrical issues. So definitely electrics, I would say the most
Dreadful.
Dreadful for sure. And Andy also said, what parts do you think is going to be the most time consuming? Also electric.
Yeah.
Tiling the bathroom will be really time consuming, but
More fun.
well, also my buddy Nick really loves tiling.
And
so
that, yeah. We have a lot of really good help.
We're thankful to have some good friends who are crafty people and handy people. So we're going to call them in as needed. Let's see. Rob said, before he talked about the hanging clothes, he said, aside from your bath and bedroom, what does your living area look like? You could.
Yeah, I don't know how you want to do that. Well, it's
here.
construction zone right now.
Yeah, it's kind of a construction zone.
There
So
you go.
here you go. Here you can see, so this over here is the very front. The driver's seat's just on the other side of this. Just put this TV up today, but this is going to be all couch here. So this is going to be couch until this blue line. You see this blue line over here? And then it'll become all kitchen. So, this is hard to do.
I know.
It'll be empty counter space, and our fridge is going to go under here. And then this will be stove top, and then sink, and then this will be some shelves and whatnot. And then, like I said, the bathroom's right here behind us. So the bathroom's behind this wall, and then you can see bedroom through there.
Well, and right here where we're sitting, this is going to be a little coffee bar, so
Yeah.
another little cabinet, and then the dinette is in front of us.
I guess, yeah. We're kind of in a bad spot, but we're kind of sitting where the dinette will be. So that couch you saw, we'll pull out in 3 different sections to be able to make different seating arrangements, and also pull out and be a full queen bed up here. So we're aiming to have a full queen bed up in the front, which most people usually end up with like a full or kind of a double bed, but we want our guests to be nice and comfy, and probably our dogs most of the time, to be honest. But
and we have friends with dogs, so we want their
Yes.
dog to be comfortable in the bed with them.
yeah, overall, we'll probably it'll be able to sleep like 4 or 5 people total, and then we hope to be able to seat plenty of people in here. The idea is to keep it relatively open in the front, and our bathroom's still plenty spacious. We're actually really happy
We're really happy.
with how the bathroom size turned out. So,
I think our pizza's here.
oh, you can get the pizza.
Okay.
We ordered pizza last minute. But let's go back up. So we got Rob asking about towing a car, and he said taking a Jeep along. Andy, my brother knows it's a Subaru. Wearing the hat. But yeah, we're towing a 2005 Subaru Outback XT behind it. So I bought that car last February. I sold my old Subaru, which was much cooler. And let's see if I can find a picture of it on here. Let's see. Can I find a picture of it? Oh yeah, here it is. So this is my old Subaru. Much cooler. It was on air ride suspension. Went up and down. It was much faster. Had all sorts of things done to it. A lot of fun. But sold it because, a hefty car payment is not fun. So now I have no car payment, and we have a great adventure car for the bus. It's still fun. Still rumbles like a Subaru. Still has a turbo on it. Still fast. Well, relatively. Still peppy enough. And it's all-wheel drive. It's slightly lifted, so it's going to get us all the places we need to go with all the friends and gear we need along the way, because it's a wagon. So can't really go wrong. And Jumanji also said, "What's our ATA for completion?" That is a big question. That's a big question. So
our hope is July.
Yeah.
Which is already pushed back from our original.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So our original, when we started the bus and we bought the bus, and we said our original hopeful timeline was June of 2021. So June 2021 is still, we're hoping to be living in the bus, but probably living in the bus parked at my parents'. And maybe we can even get in before then. We're hoping to maybe even get in a few months before then. We'll see what my brother landlord does with his house. But so we rent a house right now for my brother. We want to be respectful of the fact that, we're renting from him, and we're maybe trying to get out early and whatever. He's maybe selling the house regardless. We're kind of trying to play that timeline and also stay realistic, because like I said, our biggest purchases are yet to come, and we don't want to do this in a way that's going to financially hurt us. So if that means that the solar and all that stuff and the full capabilities of really hitting the road hard like we'd like to aren't until late summer or fall, then that's fine. But we're just trying to keep chugging along and stay positive, because I think if you put too tight of a deadline on yourself and really kill yourself, you can either get burnt out and it becomes not as fun of a project, or
then you cut corners too.
Yeah, or you cut corners, it becomes more of a burden, or like we said, for us the biggest probably roadblock is going to be the financial piece. So if we were to just say, well, screw it, let's just rack it all up in debt, well, that's probably not the best idea. So trying to do it smart, nice balance of everything. So that's June, July. June, July is the plan to have it pretty well established, to the point where we could even take it up to my family's lake house. We have another lot, park it on the lot, live there for extended periods of time or whatever as we continue to build it this summer. So that's the thought there. Got some talk about the Subarus. When we're looking at solar, you've seen the prices keep going up, up, up. Oh, Cherie, I did not know that. So I guess I haven't been paying attention to it over a long enough period of time. Only recently have I really started to dig into prices and prices for what we're trying to accomplish. But that's good to know that prices are just going up, because it's also
something to be looking at.
Things like this are becoming more popular, and I'm sure there's some other reason out there from a residential standpoint that solar panels are going up in price. But good to know. Thank you, Cherie. Jumanji said there are a couple companies that send you free solar kits. Hey, Jumanji, if you can find us a solar sponsor, man, I will pay you something. I don't know, but I would love to have a solar sponsor. If you guys just tell all your friends, all your family, and all of their friends and family to subscribe, maybe we can get enough subscribers to get some sponsorships going. But until then, we'll see. Cherie asked when we were talking about the fridge. So the fridge, actually, the computer's on it right now. So if you can't see, there's our fridge. So we ended up getting, it's a chest, dual zone fridge and freezer. So either side of the fridge can be a fridge or freezer. It's 105 quarts, and it's made by, I think it's Costway is the company. So it's Costway 105 quart dual zone fridge freezer. And we went with this one because chests are actually more efficient. If you think about it, when you open a fridge door horizontally, all that cold air just rushes out. Whereas in a chest, fridge or freezer, all that cold air, or a lot more of that cold air, is staying towards the bottom. So they're more efficient. This one also runs on 12 volt, which is important for us in efficiency from a solar standpoint. So that was huge. And so this thing should be super mega efficient. And we got it like $400 off of a lady on Facebook Marketplace who used it once. So that should be a sign to you. Do not just go ahead and buy brand new all the time, because we got a killer deal just for looking on Facebook Marketplace and finding the right person. So let's see. We had Kevin said tow vehicle is bonus closet. Good point. Tow vehicle is definitely bonus closet. And Amanda said, how's Reg going to learn how to drive how's it going learning how to drive a manual, Reg? How's it going? Yeah, so that's the other thing about my Subaru, is it is a stick shift. So I've always driven stick shift cars, and I love stick shift cars. And so that's something Regan has to learn.
Well, I've only really practiced twice, and it's been a while. I think it was actually going pretty well, but I've never tried driving with Johnny helping me. I think that's where the problem's going to arise. I need someone else to teach me who can be a little bit more patient. So I haven't practiced again.
You haven't even tried with me yet. See, she's just assuming things, guys. She just assumes I'm going to be this jerk. And so she won't even go out with me.
Not a jerk. I think you are very confident driving a stick shift. I don't think you'll be as patient with me who's not.
But that's something we definitely have to get on, because I want Regan to be really comfortable driving it, because the situations where she's going to have to drive the car are most likely going to be big passes where there's significant elevation, because we're not going to want to, the bus is going to have a hard enough time getting through those by itself. We don't need it also towing a car. So we'll probably disconnect at those points. And then also like situations where we're going on trying to find some BLM land, or go off on some, unpaved road, and Regan will probably go ahead in the car and I'll be behind her. We've got walkie-talkies. We got some walkie-talkies. So we're ready for that, but I want Regan to be confident enough driving the car that she can feel confident navigating maybe these, different scenarios, even from just a normal driving perspective, let alone also having to drive stick. But anybody who's driven stick, that it becomes subconscious. It becomes just another part of driving the car, and you don't have to think about it. It gets to that point. So we're hoping. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping. I know it'll get to that point with Regan.
Yeah, we just got to start.
Yeah.
Soon.
Sooner rather than later. So that'll probably be, we need to make it into the bus schedule. Like when we come here on the weekends, designate 20 minutes every day to Regan to go drive around the business park here, learning stick. So we just need to be better about it. But Loki said she's got some Subarus. Loki. Subaru representing. Rob said, our first planned destination.
It's been briefly discussed, I would say. I don't know that we necessarily have a first planned destination. We've kind of figured out the first route, right?
Yeah.
We've started to figure out what route we're going to go. Not sure where that means we're going to stop first, but...
So our first original planned destination was Sedona, Arizona, because that was where kind of bus life solidified for us. We had two friends who were living out there, Will and Jean. I don't know if you're watching. You might be watching, Will and Jean. You might not. But they were living out in Arizona, and we went and saw them, visited them last 2 Novembers? No, last November.
Yeah, 2 Novembers ago.
Past November, but yeah. November 2019, and that's when we really decided on bus life. So we always said, all right, that's going to be the first place we go. We loved it out there. But Will and Jean have since moved back. So
back to the Midwest. So
although, yes, we will still go out and spend plenty of time in Sedona and Arizona, we're not sure that's going to be our first location anymore. And Canada was high on the list for us.
Yeah.
But we'll see what the border situation's like come the time that we're ready to go to Canada. The stipulation with Canada is we want to be able to take the bus up there, in a state that it's ready to go, full-blown, nothing that we're waiting on. Mm-hmm. And also we want to go up there for weeks to a month or more without having to worry about work or money. So that would maybe mean some saving up to be able to, and probably some planning to find a good route, hit some good spots, but also not have to worry about work or so much of chasing work while we're there. So so Kevin said, save the relationship, let someone else teach your stick.
That's what I'm thinking, Kevin.
It's probably wise words, but I'm too stubborn. I want to be there watching you, learning,
I want you to be there once I'm good at it.
Okay. Fine. So that means we got to call Caroline back.
Yeah.
She's a teacher, so. And then, let's see, we had somebody saying, Cherie was talking more about solar panels getting expensive. Yeah, batteries close to $1,000 each. Yeah, and so batteries, $1,000 a piece. We probably want to start. We'd love to have probably 3 and then expand to maybe 4. And we're definitely going lithium. Some people will go AGM batteries, and then I see almost everybody that goes AGM ends up buying lithium. So we figure rather than buying cheaper batteries and then buying the expensive ones eventually, we're just going to buy the expensive ones. So Jumanji's slinging Fantastic fans out here. Sorry, Jumanji, we went with a Max fan. Panels are getting cheaper. Batteries are getting more expensive. Shree said she's got the winter fridge. So, Shree, we actually looked at the winter fridges. That's what we first looked at. I was looking at a winter 65 liter, 65 quart maybe. And now we have 105 quart, so just a little bit bigger. Different. But much cheaper and still works awesome. So, Andy says, in a rally race with Reagan driving the Subi and you driving the bus, who would win? Oh, man. Oh.
Ask in 6 months.
Yeah. If it was Reagan's current ability to drive stick, I would win with the bus. If it's Reagan actually knowing how to drive stick, I think she would win. But
hey, I got up to 3rd gear. I forget how to stop for some reason.
You think about too many other things. And then, Let's see. Jumanji said start in 2nd until you're comfortable. Less power, no jackrabbit. True. Depending on the car, you can definitely start in 2nd. Works the clutch a little bit more, but need a little more throttle, but it works. Jim said watch the vid where they got all their appliances from a junked RV for $500.
Whew, that'd be nice.
I've seen some people cash in big time on some junked RVs and find some good ones, but for us, our major purchases, we have a lot of them done. Besides solar and electric, really, that's it. Mm-hmm. Because we've got our fridge, we've got our sink, we've got our faucets, we've got our shower stuff, we've got all our plumbing. So major purchase wise, we're pretty solidified. It's just making that solar purchase. So I think if you're starting out and you can find junked RVs, that's a huge way to go, especially if some people want the little ranges that are RV specific, and those can be pretty pricey because anything that's specific to RVs or mobile vehicles is always more expensive than residential stuff. It seems, at least.
We did get a lot of stuff from a lady who was going to be doing a bus, right? And
Yeah,
she
so
didn't.
that's where we got our fridge from, our gray water tank, our water pump, our reverse osmosis water filtration system. We got all that from a lady who had built a shuttle bus for transporting dogs because she was a dog trainer, did one trip in it, and decided she needed a bigger one. So she was selling a ton of stuff, which was cool, and we cashed in on it. So I guess kind of our version of finding a junked RV,
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
It's kind of the same.
So Zenny says, first of all, hi Zenny. How did you insure your bus? So we're still figuring that piece out. Our bus, we actually still have to register it as an RV, which in the state of Wisconsin, there's like 5, I believe you have to have either 4 of 5 or 5 stipulations, which is basically heat, AC, running water, and maybe 2 other things. And so that's where we're at. We're trying to get those pieces in, and then we actually have to have, maybe we'll get lucky and we won't have to have an inspection. I've heard of some people getting lucky, but we have to have a state trooper come, certify the bus as a conversion or an RV, and then we'll get it registered as an RV and insured as an RV. So we're still working on that piece, taking a lot of words of wisdom from people online and their experiences. That's really, I figured, the best way to go about it. So Sandy's in the process of getting their bus insured. Well, good luck, and if you find out anything or find out any tips, please let us know. We're hoping that, you know, we have a few people we know who have been able to get their buses insured or are connected to insurance agents, whether through family or good friends. So we're fingers crossed, hoping that they can kind of lead us in the same direction and down the same path. So that's again another shout out to our friends at Skoolies Living. They are just guiding us along the whole journey. Jumanji said the Max Air fan's better. It's quieter. Good to know. I in my research I found that people seem to like the Max fans better for whatever reason, so that's why we went with the Max fan. And we have one with a remote, one without a remote. So we'll let you know which one lasts longer and which is better. Jacoby is asking how many animals have a spot on the bus.
2.
2.
He's looking at me like that because I'm pushing really hard for a cat.
So for those of you who don't know, we have 2 dogs. Let's see if I can pull up a picture of them. You talk about where they're gonna be, where their spots gonna be. I'll try to find a picture.
I can't really see it right now. So we decided we can't sleep with 2 dogs in the bed with us. That would just be unrealistic. And so the other idea is like, okay, they could sleep on the couch at night, but then if we had guests here, what would that be like? So we decided to actually build out a spot under the bed. So a lot of times people under like the mattress, there will be like drawers or some access to like storage under the bed. And we're going to kind of build out a space where we're just going to like plop a big dog bed there, and they kind of have this little cove under the bed that will be their spot. So
once we decided on the mega closet in the back and realized that was going to free up a lot of clothes storage for us, that freed up space underneath the bed to be able to put the dogs. They won't be closed in or anything. I mean, they'll just be able to like act like you can see it right under this white. Yep.
Whatever.
Yep. So basically that white piece is like our bed frame, and then just under there, so that's like 34 inches high, and then under there they'll just be able to walk right in and sleep. So we'll make them a little nice cave, maybe put a little fan in there for them, make it real luxurious. But we're happy we have that space because my biggest concern was, okay, say we have people here and they're sleeping on the front bed up here. We can't guarantee that our dogs aren't going to come bug them in the night, if we have them sleeping on the ground out here, or if they're sleeping on the bed, then the dogs would either have to be with us if the if we didn't have make this little cave for them, and we didn't want them with us because it's just a lot. And then, you know, we even have friends who will hope to have come stay with us that also have a dog. So to be able to kind of have the dogs have their own cove crate sort of dealio, I think is going to be the best for everybody involved, and makes me a lot happier for our dogs too. So they're both about 50 pounds, so they're not small. So they'll have a nice sizable bed. Andy said, are you planning on doing any outdoor retractable awnings or stowaway outdoor space? Yes. So, awning, we'll still see how that's going to integrate. It may be that we have kind of like a canvas that will fold up and keep in the back, and then we'll clip it and have a few poles to create an awning. I don't think we'll probably do like a loaded on RV awning or something like that. I just, logistically, it would be tough with just how we've built everything. And I've still heard like some people saying they're not the best, or they don't hold up to wind a ton. Sometimes they all of a sudden get ripped off. So I think I'd like a more removable solution that just has like some hooks and a big canvas, rather than one that's fixed. But we'll definitely have that. And then also an outdoor rug is big on our list. So we plan to have like probably maybe like a 10 by 10, 10 by 12 outdoor rug. So when we are places, we're not always outside on the dirt. We can put down an outdoor rug. The dogs can have a space to lay down. We can just have an outdoor space that's not just dirt. And then hopefully that will also avoid us tracking less dirt into the bus. And we plan to store that in like a big PVC pipe underneath the bus. So I've seen some people do this on vans maybe. Not so much on buses, but vans where they'll use these big PVC pipes to store outdoor rugs, which I think is a great idea. Waterproof, and so we'll probably just have something where we can just slide the rug right in and pull it out as needed. So Kevin said, have we mounted the gray tank? So
started, didn't you?
Yeah, that's kind of a one in progress. So we have two gray tanks actually. We're doing a 40-gallon and a 30-gallon, two separate ones, to help with weight distribution a little bit. And just, I didn't want just one big gray tank. It was going to be hard to find a spot underneath the bus for it. So I've got them mostly mounted up. I was having some issues with the rib nuts I was using, but that is probably going to be, I would say, within the next couple of videos. Basically, I filmed the first half of it already, and now need to film the later half of it where I actually figured out what I was doing and kind of modified some things. So that'll be soon, but then it's a matter of plumbing them. So that's the real trick. And Kevin also said Vermont registration works. So I've heard the Vermont registration is very easy, but then I've heard people having issues with getting insured because they don't live in Vermont, but they have their Vermont registration. So because of that, I turned away from the whole Vermont thing. I know it's really easy and you can just send it in, but to avoid any insurance issues, I decided, and because Wisconsin's not a crazy strict state either, most of the people I've heard and talked to that have gotten it registered in Wisconsin, it hasn't been a crazy process. People in Wisconsin are pretty laid back, thankfully.
Yes,
but that's why we're sticking with Wisconsin and not going the Vermont route. So, but if that would work for you, then that's awesome, and definitely good for you. So, Life Jenny Jacobs said moonshade portable awning. Okay,
I'll have to look into that. Yeah.
Good to know. That's kind of, I think that'll be like one of those things that's a when we're on the road project you know, it's interesting how much you shift your focus, as at least we have. Like, from the beginning of like, oh man, we want all these things and we have to have these things and blah blah blah, and then you become like, all right, maybe we don't need that.
Yeah, what do we actually have to be able to live on it, travel with it?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we are now.
And especially now that like our main goal is to just start living and traveling in it, it's like, okay, what do we need to really just live in it and be comfortable? Certainly, we don't want to be like, you know, really roughing it, but what do we need to be able to live in it, and then what things can we just kind of maybe add down the road and are more of a luxury, so to speak. So we'll have to check out the portable awning, but it may come down the road. So Jacoby's talking about sponsorships, Nomad Mobile Internet, Jackery, Blue Yeti, Renogy, ARB. Sweet. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we're definitely, I mean, we want to sponsor and, or, you know, partner with the businesses down the road. I've got a marketing and sales background, and I'm a videographer and photographer. So for me, what I'm trying to do on the road is video and photo. And if that's what I can sustain us with, and, you know, Reagan will have her piece as well, but if that's what I can continue to bring money in with, and that's through sponsorships and partnerships, that'd be awesome, because I'd love to be a part of growing brands and things within this whole community and within things that we align with. But it's just a matter of getting out there and getting our name out there and asking for those things and seeking those things out. So it's definitely something we're looking forward to down the road, and as we continue to grow this channel, grow our Instagram, things like that, leverage that to sustain us and help grow other companies along the way. So Kevin's asking how you reset the change oil light. So our change oil light was coming on when we got the bus. We haven't started it in a while, but I don't think it stayed in. Well, and then I changed the oil, but I don't think it stays on now. It maybe does for a slight amount of time. Actually, I think that's what was happening. So our change oil light was coming on, and then like it would stay on for a small amount of time, but then it would eventually go away. And then even after I changed the oil, once the bus, you know, even a few minutes, not even once it was warm, the change oil light would go away. So I'm not totally sure there, but chances are to totally get rid of it, you'd probably have to get in contact with a dealer or have some sort of code clearer or something. I don't know. I'm not positive. So, Kevin's giving us some tips here on the registration piece.
I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, we'll definitely think about the Vermont registration. Although, I think I'd rather show my cheesehead pride all around the country than Vermont, which I've never identified with in my life. So, Zenny's asking about insurance. Zenny, sorry, we don't have insurance. You know, we don't have insurance. We're working on that piece right now and getting it insured and registered. But Jacoby's asking what's in the cup.
Spotted cow.
Yeah. Always
spotted cow.
Always. So those of you who watch the channel, who watch regularly, know the red Solo cups, and Rob knows this. He comments about it all the time. But they're always flowing, and there's Spotted Cow on tap here where we work on the bus, and also Sprecher root beer. Two very Wisconsin things, which is very fitting. But the Spotted Cow is our go-go juice that keeps us rolling on the bus. So you see the red cups.
Keeps me entertained.
Yeah. You see the red cups. Chances are there's Spotted Cow. It might be just root beer. Might just be root beer, but chances are it's more likely than not Spotted Cow. So, yeah, Jim's saying you can reset the light with the can scanner. You may be. I have an OBD2 scanner for a car. I've never tried to hook it up to the bus, or I don't even know if the bus has an OBD2 port, or if that's too modern for it. But I've never even actually tried that. We have an ABS light that we're going to have to diagnose before we go, which is probably just an ABS sensor. But I haven't tried clearing any codes, so... Jumanji's saying Good Sam for insurance. So, I've heard good and bad things about Good Sam. Heard they're not the most responsive when you actually need them, or the most helpful when you actually need them. So, again, with the insurance piece, we got some steps to go before we can get the bus registered as an RV, and then to get it insured as an RV is another step. So, we're still a little ways away from that, but certainly,
open to suggestions.
A, open to suggestions, and B, when we figure it out, we're going to put out a video, because that's definitely a huge thing that people are always asking about, because even when they get connected with somebody that they say, oh, for sure this person will insure it, and then the person can't, and whatever, there's, most of the time it just sounds like you got to talk to the right agent and use the right verbiage. Because if you use the wrong word or the wrong words or whatever, then some agents will just write you off and be like, oh, nope, it's a bus conversion, or oh, it's a schoolie, oh, it's not an RV. So you got to be careful in what it seems in the way you talk about it. So we'll see how that goes for us, but definitely when we find out, we'll let you guys know. So Kevin said the oil light dims for him. Manual reset. No OBD port, yeah. Not surprised there's not an OBD port. But we're going to have to take our... I think before we take off, we'll probably take ours to a... either take it to a mechanic or have a mechanic come to us. A guy I filmed a wedding for, he is a diesel mechanic, and said come help you out whenever. So we will probably have some very mechanic heavy videos coming down the road with people who know way more about diesel than I do, because I certainly I know very little or some about diesel. It's has its similarities and differences between a gas engine and a diesel engine, but I'll have some resources for you guys down the road when it comes to diesel and mechanics behind all of it. So, Jacoby said we need a kegerator.
It's a good thought.
Maybe the coffee bar that's going to be right here, maybe we should just have a kegerator under it.
Ooh.
And then we could have like a... Ooh.
Well, your cousin just built...
Yeah.
His own.
My cousin just built his own kegerator and brews his own beer all the time. So maybe we'll travel the country with exclusive beer from my cousin.
Yeah.
In our kegerator. I don't know. But it'd definitely be wide enough for like a pony keg back here. It's just a matter of losing some storage, but might be worth it for the beer. Just a matter of also keeping it cold, which means more power, which means more solar, which means more money.
Maybe something we can add down
there. Yeah. Jenny Jacob, Life of Jenny Jacob are saying Kelly Newsom for Allstate. I have heard that name so many times on all the pages. Her name keeps popping up. Like, Kelly Newsom from Allstate, she must have the best insurance practice from Just Buses. It's amazing. Like, everybody, it seems, when on a Facebook page or something, when insurance comes up, Kelly Newsom's name gets dropped. She must just be getting bombarded. She knows
what she's doing.
I mean, good for her. She knows the market's out there, and she's capturing it, because she's...
I love it.
Her name comes up all the time. Jumanji said Miles branded beer.
I think we could do that.
That might be coming.
I think we could do that.
That might have to come down the road. Certainly. So on that note, there may be merch down the road too, guys. I mean, everybody, of course, gets into the merch piece, but I've already been talking to Reagan about a few ideas. Not necessarily Miles branded merch, certainly we'd love to have that down the road and come up with some fun designs and some cool things for you guys. So you can wear it and sport it and feel great about it, but also support us. But also, I've been thinking about some like Skoolies specific merch things and just some Skoolie bus related merch things that we may have coming here soon in the pipeline. So keep a lookout from that, and the Miles branded beer will probably be a later iteration to the merch line, but we might have to make that happen. So Kobe's asking if we heard of Harvest Host. We have heard of Harvest Host. So Harvest Host, for anybody on here, like my family, Reagan's family, that don't know what that is. So you pay like $75 a year, and then you get access to all sorts of breweries, wineries, farms that you can stay at for free. So we're definitely planning on doing Harvest Hosts because I see that as a great way to stay places for basically free, and B, connect with businesses. So for me, as somebody who's going to be trying to get some of those jobs on the road as we're going, those will be great opportunities for me to network with those places, pop in and see if they need marketing material, see if they need video and photo work. So that I never even really thought about it until now, but now that I've thought about Harvest Host, but I haven't really thought about the business piece behind it. So I think that's definitely going to play into kind of what how we stay and maybe how we find some work. So Jacoby's talking about diesel heaters. Yep. So we'll have a diesel heater. That became the heat source that took number one for us. We really badly wanted a cubic mini, one of the little wood stoves.
More for aesthetic reasons.
Yeah.
Than anything.
I mean, you can't lie. Those little wood stoves are cute, and like sitting here in your bus conversion while you got your little wood stove going. And it all sounds great and all until you have to wake up every like 3 or 4 hours in the middle of the night. And you wake up and all of a sudden you're frozen, and you have to stoke a fire to get it hot, and then it'll start heating your bus, and then it gets warm enough, and then by the time it gets warm enough, you gotta wake back up, stoke the fire some more, so like once we realized that piece and really thought that piece of it out, we pretty much wrote off the wood stove, and they're also really expensive, and the diesel heater just seems like a no-brainer for us. You don't get the condensation issues that you do with some of the other forms of heat, and it's relatively cheap. Diesel you can find everywhere, so diesel heater, no brainer. J&R Microbrew.
Well, his cousin Kevin would be the one brewing them, so we'd have to add a K in there, something too.
Well, it would be his brewery. You know, we could be our beer name, his brewery.
Okay.
We'll see. Kevin said, on a serious note, what do you think is your biggest mistake so far? That's a great question.
Oh gosh. I know there are some. I don't know why I'm blanking. I mean, there's some silly mistakes that we fixed, like breaking a window after we had replaced them all. Lucky we saved another one.
I think our biggest mistake so far.
I'm scared.
Well, I got kind of two answers to this question. So the first one would be our biggest mistake so far was when we put in the last piece of flooring in the garage and busted the body panel. So we had one last piece of like bottom plywood that we needed to put in the garage for the flooring, and we really had to shove it in, and we had to mess really the whole back corner of our bus.
Had some issues.
Like the door frame that we found out that wasn't broken. Well, the door was broken, but the body panel was our breaking, and then we did some more damage to it trying to get that floor piece in. So I would say our biggest mistake that has caused us extra work was that piece in the very back. Now,
oh gosh,
I will say I don't regret buying the bus. By all means, I do not regret it. I do not regret buying the bus that we did and where we're at now.
Yeah, so not a mistake, but a little bit of a regret.
Knowing what we know now and what exactly to look at, even when you have a diesel mechanic with you, no way would we have bought this bus.
No.
I don't think I would have looked for 2 seconds. If I would have known what to look at, I would have probably looked and I would have said, yeah, that's way too much rust. In certain areas, because it's caused us a lot of work. Now, in the areas where it's really, really important from the longevity of the bus and the huge chassis rails and the huge frame rails, those are all fine. And there's some surface rust on them, but it's all the other rust issues that we've had to deal with. One big rust issue in the front that we still have not fixed and are working on getting fixed. But I would say that was our biggest mistake.
Buying the bus.
Which sounds horrible. That's why I said it's like it is, but it's not, because like I in no way regret what we did.
Yeah.
It's now like looking back, hindsight. Had I known actually how the bus is constructed, what supports the floor, what supports underneath the driver's seat, like all these things that we're now finding are like horribly, horribly rusted. It would have just saved us time and money. Not having to fix those. So it was, just replacing the framing alone, that metal and metalwork and everything was probably, $3,000 to $4,000 in 3 months of our time. So, and we also, I think, I will say this, if I would have bought this bus, I would have bought it for dirt cheap. We got it for $3,000, less than half the price. I would have lowballed the crap out of the guy because I would have said, dude, this is worth nothing. This thing's destined for the junkyard. Unless somebody's going to completely tear it down like we did and really replace everything, this thing was destined for the junkyard, and we saved it. So now it's got a refreshed frame and things are going great, but I really wish I would have known what to look for then. And I would have said, dude, this is worth $500 or less, and we would have taken that $2,500 and fixed the frame with it. So that's on a very serious note, Kevin. That is where we're at with that. So Jumanji's talking about waking up with a wood stove. Yep. Jim says, get a little computer, put a video of a fireplace on it.
Yeah, that's great.
And build it into a fireplace case. We might have to do that sometimes, to be honest. We got the TV.
Yeah, the TV, you just put the Netflix fireplace on. That's all you need.
Diesel heater will be blaring more heat than the fireplace ever could. So it'll really feel like a fire's right next to us. So, short garage.
What's that mean?
So we also had a few questions coming from our Instagram. I'm going to swap to that. I won't answer a few of these. So we had a few questions from Shannon, who actually works here at the building that the bus is at. So Shannon sees the bus quite often, comes in and checks in every once in a while. But she said, how are you downsizing to prep for living in Miles?
Well, we've been slowly selling furniture on Facebook Marketplace. So just like random bookcases. We just put all our books in boxes and sell the bookcase. We sold like our end tables in our living room. What else did we sell? Oh, we had a table in our basement. We sold that. Yeah. Just starting to sell furniture basically. And then I've already gone through some clothes, but I feel like clothes just keep coming out of nowhere. So that's going to be my biggest problem, is downsizing on clothes. But
yeah,
I've already kind of started to. I've started boxing some things together of like, sell these things, keep these things for the bus. So
Yeah, we definitely still have a lot of downsizing to do, but we're trying to get rid of a lot of the big stuff right now. The stuff that, we want to get rid of before we have a garage sale, because I'm of the impression that I can put it on Facebook Marketplace and probably get a little bit more for it than if I have it at a garage sale, because somebody knows I'm desperate to get rid of it and knows they can lowball me and say, hey, will you take that for $20, when in reality on Facebook Marketplace I could maybe get $150 for it or something, So we'll save a lot of the smaller items for a big rummage sale in probably the spring. A lot of our clothes and all the little small stuff around the house.
Yeah.
And then furniture we'll continue to whittle off as we can. And, yeah. Shannon also said, if something happens to Miles while on the road, are only certain mechanics trained to fix a Skoolie? So, no. Actually, we have a engine that's very popular. So the engine we have in the bus is a 7.3 liter diesel, which is basically the same diesel motor they put in a lot of the early 2000s Fords. It's called 7.3 Power Stroke. So it's a very common motor, and a lot of diesel mechanics are very familiar with these types of motors. So we should have no problem, if we're in a horrible situation, finding a mechanic who can help us out. But like I said, I also want to learn a lot, and I want to know as much as possible about everything in the mechanics of the bus, so I can try and troubleshoot those as much as possible without having to bring somebody else in, because that always means more of an expense. So I think there's a lot of situations, preventative and reactive, that people can do themselves that they don't think about by just learning a little bit, and then you can save yourself a lot of money and not get in really bad situations where you're stuck somewhere. And it could be a simple fix that you could do yourself if you have the right part, maybe, or if you're able to get it apart, but instead you have to get an expensive tow somewhere and get a mechanic to do it. So I'm hoping to have pretty good knowledge, but certainly I'm no diesel mechanic, so we may still have to call somebody in at that point. Last one from Shannon. She said, how will the sink and shower plumbing work from the water tank, and how do you fill the tank? So we have our freshwater tank back behind the bed, or under where the bed's gonna go, and so that'll get filled from the outside, and then the water will disperse from there to our shower and our sink, and then when that gets used, it goes down in the gray tanks, and that holds it until we let the gray tanks empty. We can also hook up to city water. So say we're at a campground, or we're staying at my parents' or Reagan's parents' or somewhere else where we can literally hook a hose up to it, and that'll completely bypass our water tank and just feed pressure water into our shower and our sink. So we'll have a few different ways of getting our water supply, and one way of dumping it out. So, but we can't, theoretically, if we're hooked up to water, we can't just run the water forever, because we still have a limited amount that we can hold. Mm-hmm. So we're still a little bit limited there, unless we were to just be dumping it right on the ground. So and then Marie says, hello from Minnesota. Oh, Minnesota, way up there. Yeah, we've been getting some snow here in Wisconsin.
Well, not in the last couple weeks.
Been in the snowmobile trails. No,
we haven't.
My uncle just hit the snowmobile trails.
Yes,
says
it's
it's
cold.
No, I'm actually warm. Probably because I'm wearing a hat and drinking beer.
Oh, well.
But my cheeks are getting red. My cheeks get red easily, but drinking the beer and being in the bus. We have a space heater running in the bus because Reagan was cold, even though it's not actually cold in here. So Reagan's freezing. I'm hot. It's fine. This will just be our life on the bus.
This is our life at home.
So another question from Instagram. Vinny in a van. Don't know if you're watching, Vinny. I think he also has a 3400 international shuttle, Kevin. So he's one of our international shuttle crew. He said, "What is your budget for this project? Bus included. Are you on budget or expect to be over?"
We're already over.
Well,
yes, we're already over than what I expected we would be, especially at this point in time.
Yeah.
We haven't even bought, like he said, the solar and stuff, which is going to be a huge purchase when we do. And you calculated it up like a couple weeks ago, and
yeah. So we're like our original hope, and this was kind of without really looking at numbers or whatever, and just kind of guessing based upon what people online say. Our hope was 15 to 20,000 all in, including the purchase of the bus. And as of recently, we're pretty much at that 15,000 mark already. And we have, just solar alone is probably another 4,000 to 5,000. Plus, like I said, lumber is expensive right now. So, awesome, Kevin. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for giving us all sorts of good questions to answer, Kevin. Thank you so much for being here. We're glad to see you. Sad to see you go. But we know you're around and you'll still be here next time. So we'll definitely see you on the next one, Kevin. But, yeah, so we're already at that, like, $15,000 mark, knowing we have a huge chunk of solar plus assorted other things. The lumber, like I said, the lumber's expensive right now. A 2x4 is $6, and a decent sheet of plywood is $50. So things are, even those things are going to add up. But I think
plus we had all of the rust, which we weren't expecting, which was a big chunk.
Yep. And so I think we're hoping maybe our adjusted is probably closer to 25,000. But I feel pretty confident in the way that we're building the bus and the quality that we're going to build the bus to, of easily being able to get that and more out of the bus someday when we sell it, which is kind of the whole reason we're building the bus the way we are, is we didn't want to build a bus that we were just going to slap together and then barely be able to get our money out of it. We wanted to build something that we could have and use, and maybe we end up just keeping it forever. That'd be really cool. But maybe we want to sell it down the road, and we want it to be something that we could sell for more than what we put into it. So we're really trying to keep that in mind as we're picking the ways we're building things, and just overall the quality of everything. So I wish we could say that we built this bus for less than $10,000, blah blah blah. I think it's misleading. You see some of these people online who boast some of these numbers, and it can be misleading because maybe it's a really short bus, and maybe they got all their lumber for free and there's no solar, or the everybody's bus has different capabilities. Everybody's bus has different levels of build. And so that's why I think when people ask about budget and when people ask about timeline, those are super open-ended questions, and questions that you're going to get a million different answers from a million different people, because everybody's build is different. Everybody's build standard's different. The quality of products that they're putting in their build are different. It's all different. So it's going to look different for everybody, cost different for everybody, take different amounts of time for everybody. So take that all into consideration if you're thinking about building a bus or building a bus. So Marie's said she's about to purchase tomorrow, but worried. I heard that government and RV parks are unfriendly towards any conversions. Insurance seems impossible to get. So, Marie, I would say to you, I've heard that RV parks can be not as friendly to buses and Skoolies specifically, but I've also heard that maybe going the shuttle bus route or certain shuttle buses can look and be a little bit more inconspicuous than a true school bus, and sometimes can blend in a little bit more. Another thing is I've heard some RV parks, they won't let vehicles in that are over a certain age, which is just stupid. I think it's all stupid. These are all paying customers. Who cares? Nobody's going into an RV park and looking at every single one and saying, "Oh my gosh, that schoolie that's sitting there is ruining my experience. How dare you?" Like, no. So the fact that RV parks think this way, I think, is kind of silly, and I think it's just hurtful to the overall traveling community and people who want to live that. Like they should welcome them with open arms, regardless of what they're rolling in. So.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me like the less you make it look like a schoolie, the more opportunities you'll have at RV parks.
Yeah, and also I think the more inconspicuous you can be with, say, like a paint job.
Right.
You see some of these people, might be rolling up to RV parks in schoolies that have all these crazy designs on them and whatever, and like pink and purple and like, maybe that's not the vibe an RV park's trying to give off, but again, I think it comes... For me, it's like, why are you turning people away? They're paying customers that want to park their vehicle there and hook up. So I think you hear horror stories, but you always got to remember people are always going to be quicker to tell you their negative stories, especially on the internet, than they are their positive ones. I see it all the time with the Subaru community. Subarus get a really bad rap for a lot of reliability issues and all these issues left and right, but a lot of the times it comes down to somebody who was uneducated or wasn't treating the car well or wasn't maintaining it well, or there's underlying things, and they were so quick to come out and tell you their negative story, whereas there have been hundreds of thousands of people who've never had any issue and you don't hear about them. But if you go online and you read a lot of negatives or read about it, you're going to see a lot of negative things, just because there's always more negative than positive out there. So and certainly we were talking about insurance earlier, and insurance can be tough to find. Some people have really hard time, some people have an easier time, but in the end, people are out there doing it, and it's doable. So just do the research for your area, and also be aware of things that might affect your insurance. A roof deck can affect your insurance. Some people will not insure schoolies with a roof deck. Even though they insure schoolies, they won't do it with a roof deck. Some people won't insure schoolies with a wood stove. Some people... So, these are things you need to think about in considering what you're going to put in your build, because it can affect other parts of your build that you may not think about, like trying to find insurance. So, there's a lot to think about, but don't be discouraged by, a few stories online of people who are having a hard time or whatever, because... A, you may not be hearing the whole story, and B, there are just as many people out there actually doing it successfully or who have gotten over those hurdles, who are having a fine time out there. So, Jacoby's talking about Arizona window solar is a good place to start looking. They have some good price and they ship.
That has something.
So Jacoby says 10 years is the limit in RV parks, but most of the time send him a picture and then they say it's okay, come on down. He's in a 2006 45-foot Monaco Diplomat. So a Monaco Diplomat, that's an RV. That's a big old RV. So my grandpa actually used to have a big old Monaco RV. I think it was a 41-foot, but 45-foot, that's a big boy. And maybe, Jacoby, it sounds like you are in RV parks. Maybe you could provide some insight to Marie as far as what you see at RV parks, what you see is common, and if you see schoolies. Do you see schoolies? If you do, are they the bright, crazy ones, or they look a little bit more put together, a little bit more stealthy? Like I said, we don't have experience with that, but I can almost guarantee you we'll be in a situation down the road where we're trying to seek out RV parks or campsites, and there may be one that turns us away. And we'll see it. Jim said, don't call it a roof deck, it's roof rack. But if it's a deck on a roof, isn't it a roof deck? Yeah, Marie's
Yeah, someone with the RV.
good point about the total RV to put stuff in your shuttle bus. Yeah,
we
Marie,
haven't really looked at
if you're
that,
early
but-
on, definitely if you haven't even purchased yet, definitely think about finding an RV. If you're looking for a lot of RV specific amenities, I guess you could say. Like a lot of the stuff we're buying isn't necessarily RV specific.
Yeah.
Because we're not having like an oven and things like that. So like the stovetop we're buying isn't for an RV. The sink we bought isn't for an RV. But if you're looking for those things, or like a shower, definitely wrecked RV is probably the way to go. So on Instagram, we also had a question from Rob the Totten, which Wildhawk57 Rob, I don't know if that's you. I don't know if he's still on here. But he said, what are your thoughts on keeping the bus cool when it's sweltering hot in the summer? So, we plan to have we have 2 max fans. One right there. Well,
it's
one
not
that
in
will
yet.
be right there. So it'll be right there. That's kind of like above our kitchen area, so that'll be a nice exhaust fan for the kitchen and stuff. And then we're also going to have one.
We already have one.
Or we already have one. I just installed it last week. We already have one above our bed. So we're going to have 2 max fans. Both can blow in and out. So I think that's going to give us a lot of ability to get tons of air circulating through here. We've got tons of windows. But, AC, why not just get an AC? Well, that comes down to power. So, again, having an AC, even if it's a mini split, usually means having a ton of solar and a huge battery bank, which, like we were talking about earlier, batteries are the most expensive part of the solar. So if you want to run your AC through the night, which is probably when you want it, well, you're going to need a huge battery bank because there's no solar being generated during that time. It's nighttime. So you have to have a huge battery bank, which is a huge cost. So for us, we're going to kind of start with the max fan route and opening windows and just moving air. And if it becomes so unbearable, then maybe we move into an AC someday. But I also foresee us kind of, part of this life is being able to chase the weather you want. So are we going to be in Arizona when it's the middle of the summer and at night it's still super hot? Or is Arizona still hot?
At night?
I know, but it gets cold in Arizona at night in like the fall and wintertime. But in the summer, are Arizona's nights? I don't know. Say Florida. Whatever. Say we're in Florida and it's hot, humid nights or whatever. Like, we're probably not going to be down in Florida in the middle of summer when it's blistering. Like, we're probably going to play with the weather a little bit more than that. And maybe we realize we need an AC someday. Maybe we don't. But we're going to go without it first and then work it in if we need to. So, Jumanji's asking about Habitat for Humanity store. Yes, we have one near us.
We have 2.
Yeah, we have 2. One that's actually kind of on our way to the bus, but we never stop at it.
No, we went to the other one.
Yeah, I don't know why. So we haven't been very good about stopping at it. We've stopped there maybe twice. But we need to definitely take advantage of that more because I've seen some people with some huge scores at Habitat for Humanity places. That's definitely something to keep in mind. So he's also saying you can get wood from completed construction projects, renovations, remodels where the builder has extra they don't want. Yeah, I didn't make friends with some builders because lumber I can't believe how expensive some of this stuff is, and it's for a piece of wood. But we'll go to another Instagram question.
Have you ever considered learning to break dance?
I'm confused
Not
as to where this came
from. No, we do not have any interest in learning how to
Rob
break
Totten,
dance.
if you're watching, not sure why you're asking that, but I have not considered learning how to break dance, Rob. But apparently he thinks we need to learn how to break dance or something like that. Let's see, is that...
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that was it from the Instagram questions. Do we get any more on here? Jacoby is saying, believe it or not, I boondock more than RV parks. I've seen some schoolies, but they look nice and clean. Nothing too crazy with paint, mostly solid colors, nothing hippie, and some don't care. Cool. Well,
kind of what I expected.
Yeah. You know, I would like to say that our exterior of our bus is not too wild, or is not going to be too wild.
We have an orange door. But.
We have an orange door, but we got solid colors otherwise. And we're going to have a nice wood panel.
Hopefully.
I think we'll fit in.
See.
I think we'll be accepted nicely. You know, worst case scenario, I'll smooth talk some RV park attendants or whatever. You know, I'll feel confident in my Midwest niceness.
Yeah, that's true. I like to say I have kind eyes. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, we'll just throw Reagan's kind eyes on them. That's all it takes. All right, well, is there anything else you want to... We've been on here for quite some time, guys. I love this. I was not expecting... I got to say... Oh, Jemima said we missed Skoolies Palooza.
We were so bummed about Skoolies Palooza. Yeah.
We were bummed.
Shooting for next year.
Yeah, so Skoolies Palooza was just like, what, 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago or so. And, yeah, we were bummed we missed that. And then I think there's another one coming up in Florida called Skoolies Swarm. And then the bus fair. That's one we're hoping to maybe get to. The bus fair that's out in Oregon is in June, I believe. So we'll see.
It seems to be pushing it, but we'll see.
That's probably pushing it. We're very hopeful. Worst case scenario, we're going to hit all of those events for next year. Of course, those will be on our schedules. So.
There's the light bar.
Oh, Jacoby says the light bar still go. Yeah. The light bar is in the front. Is installed. In the rear, the light bar is installed. All of our light pods are installed and wired in, but those are going to be connected to our house batteries, so those are not functional yet. But the front light bar is unbelievably bright. Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Good to see you here.
We'll be more excited to see you on the bus as well.
Yeah.
Instead of chatting here.
Yeah, no
We're
kidding.
very excited to get out and meeting people.
Yeah, it's you know, we always want to obviously, like, we want to meet people on the road when we're on the road, but we'd love to meet people beforehand, and then it's like that much more fun when you meet them on the road, and it's like, we already know each other, we've already had so much conversation, whatever. So yeah, Jacoby's.
I know, Jacoby. I'm thinking about our dogs too. I get it.
Puppies are hungry. He's got to start dinner. Understandable. Thanks for stopping, Jacoby. Thanks for interacting and have a great time with us. This has been awesome. So much fun chatting with you guys. And Jim said, since you basically rebuilt it, Miles is less than 1 year old.
That's true. Especially the frame.
I agree, Jim. You know, I agree. And the fact that...
We should figure out his birthday.
I think the fact that, you know, we have done all this work and we have literal documentation, video, photo, all of it through, like, selling this, you know, when it comes to selling it, I just got to tell somebody to go to the YouTube channel and they can see all it's done. Mm-hmm. Which is, you know, really not the purpose of it, but
helpful.
Mostly to document it for us and to share with all you guys and have you guys get some information out of it and some fun, you know. But down the road, I can always say, oh, you want to know how that was done? Oh, well, go look at it, which is kind of cool. And a lot of people can't say that, so I think that's pretty cool. Born again bus. Literally. Like, I don't know if you guys understand how much Miles just should have been thrown in a dumpster. A big old bus dumpster.
That's true.
But that's why we love him extra.
Mm-hmm.
He's been reborn. So, well,
All right.
if you guys have any more questions, we'll give you another minute or two to drop any questions down below. But this has been awesome, guys.
Yeah, this has been fun.
I did not expect for us to have an hour and 45 worth of you guys giving us all sorts of good questions and nuggets. And let us know, drop in the comments if you want us to do this again. Obviously, we're going to do it again. But, like,
we had fun.
how often do you want to do these, you know? Like, should we do these once a month? Should we do these, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think in the comments. Or go ahead and shoot us a message, Instagram, here, whatever. I'm guessing that if you're here right now, you're already subscribed, and you probably already follow us on Instagram. And if you don't, you should probably go ahead and do both of those. And then also go ahead and tell your friends, and then tell their
Yes,
family,
that's a big one.
and their friends, and their friends, and their friends. Jumanji asked, what do we do with all the seats when we ripped it out?
We sold the seats.
Gave them away.
Gave them away.
I told this to somebody on Facebook today, or the other day. I said, don't even try selling the bus seats, because bus seats really, even to somebody who has a bus, they have no value.
Yeah.
Like, they're just basically scrap metal. Unless somebody has some idea that they're specifically wanting to do. Even so, nobody's going to spend $200 to buy your bus seats. It took us weeks to get rid of them, and we put them up for free. So just give them away if you're, yeah. It's not even worth it.
Facebook Marketplace for everything,
Yes.
basically.
I've become a Facebook Marketplace ambassador between all the things I have bought and sold on Facebook Marketplace for the bus, getting ready for the bus. Yeah, it's just a lot of things. And Marie says we should do these weekly.
Wow,
Well,
thank you for the support there,
thank you,
Marie.
I think maybe down
Maybe
the
we
road,
could.
what
Maybe
we'll
we
do, maybe we'll start a Patreon down the road. And I know Number Juan Bus does this, but do some. I think they do weekly live calls with their patrons, maybe. So maybe that's something we can do down the road. I think weekly would that would require us to be doing a lot. I mean.
Well,
right now, I don't know if we
see.
even have enough weekly to.
Yeah, I don't know.
As far as related to the bus, we haven't had enough to talk about. But
Maybe if we keep them shorter,
yeah,
we could do more.
true,
Have to cut people off on their questions.
true.
Could figure that out.
Well, you know, I don't know where we're at right now with subscribers, but we're just shy of 400. So maybe when we hit 500 subscribers on
Ooh.
YouTube, we'll do another one. How about that? Ooh, Jumanji's
Live
talking
build
about streams. You know, I have seriously started to consider a Twitch stream for the bus where we would just stream when we're here working. I think that'd be kind of a cool way to, like, you know, be weekly lives. But
Yeah.
and then
Johnny
maybe,
said maybe like tonight on this live we should install the Max fan, and I was like, I don't want people to see us bickering. So that's my concern with it.
yeah, then you get a lot of the behind the scenes, you know? You get a really good feel for what it's like working on a bus with your significant other, you know? But I think it would be really cool to just, like, throw up a Twitch stream and, like, people could chat with us while we're building something, or if it's something specific to, like, what they're trying to do, they could get really involved and, like, asking a lot of questions as we're going. I don't know if that's something that, like, anybody in the bus community is doing right now. I'm not on Twitch enough. I don't really watch streams on Twitch. I know of Twitch and the platform. But could be a cool way to let you guys in on even more of what we're doing and maybe interact with you some more. Because the interaction is honestly the most fun part.
That's
when
fun.
you guys comment on the videos and when you guys message us or whatever on Instagram, comment on Instagram, like, that's a lot of fun for us to see that. So, and then obviously respond and have that interaction with you guys. So, Lisa said you guys. Oh, we did. Marie said 402, so we crossed 400.
Just tonight.
Yeah.
Look at this. We do have to do these more often.
Yeah. So Lisa said we should have more subs by now. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah,
You
thank you for the support.
Yeah,
We
I
agree.
I agree, Lisa. Couldn't agree more. But hey, we're gonna keep doing us until that number climbs to 500,000.
Well, yeah. I mean, even for me, I'm like this. It hasn't really been that fun up until right now when we're doing more of the building stuff in here. So I feel like as we're doing more in here with building things, we'll start to get more subscribers. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
It's the fun stuff to watch.
Yeah.
And to do.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna keep doing us. Keep doing us. You keep doing you. Clicking the subscribe button. Sharing with all your friends. You know what to do. But Jim said I follow some folk who do a live chat during the premiere of their videos. So we've done that a few times with our videos, but I think one thing that a stream would just give even more than anything else is like that instant, like you're watching it all happen right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not edited, none of it's edited. You can ask a question right away, and like I could start talking to you and showing you exactly what's happening rather than, me having to try to explain it in words or whatever. So that's maybe the benefit of it and what people would maybe like most. Maybe we just start doing it and seeing what we get out of it. We'll see. You guys will be the first to know if you follow us on Instagram. We will definitely announce it there if that's something we start doing. So, Skips 966 for hello from Rockford, Illinois. Hello.
Coming in
not
late.
Far.
We might be saying goodbye soon, but thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, not far from us in Rockford, but we're actually going to be driving south. So we are obviously at the bus right now, but we live a half hour from the bus right now, so we got a little bit of a drive home after this.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we only each had one beer. Don't worry. Safe driving. So you have to look at yours.
Because this is my second. We'll share.
That's funny. All right. Well, doesn't look like much else is rolling through, but thank you guys so much. This has been awesome, and we wish we could also see you. That'd be even more fun. I mean, it's
Zoom.
Yeah. Well, again, maybe that's where it comes into play. We gotta get some exclusive members in on some Zoom calls here. But Skip says cold enough for you. Yeah. It's been today was beautiful. It's 12 degrees out right now. It's beautiful. I can walk outside in my t-shirt. My goodness.
Probably will.
I might, yeah. It's been pretty cold here in Wisconsin, so it's been negatives most of the days. Yeah. But that's how we do it. That's how we do it up here. So
All right,
guys. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. I'm going to just keep saying it over and over again because it's exciting and fun, and I think this is going to make us want to do these more often. Yeah. And we'll always try and do these from the bus because why not? So, Marie, good night. Good night to all of you. Good night, family, friends, future friends. We will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.
Stay posted.
Oh.
Well, now we don't have to.
Yeah, there it goes. All right. See you guys.